What's up?
Yo,
How we doing?
oh my God, you look so different without your glasses and the background's different.
Yeah, yeah, very. I've um I've left the hostel. I'm not in a brick dungeon anymore.
Yeah. Well, you in a hostel?
I was, yeah, for that whole time, basically. That was when was it? From November until like 2 months ago. Not 2 months? Fuck, three weeks ago.
Yeah, what country?
It was in London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, how was the experience in there?
That was good. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was it was interesting because I loved London just because of the vibe. Everyone was like, but I loved the vibe of the travelers. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean, like
Yeah.
London's very much the sort of it's like the airport terminal where everyone is just like on the way to somewhere else, and when they stop in
Oh,
London, they're
yeah.
all sharing stories about, oh, I've been to, Amsterdam, or I've been to like Berlin or Budapest or,
Mm.
Rome. And everybody's just sat there like talking about their experience of it. And fuck, that's cool. Like, it's just so nice to hear people talk about
Yeah.
Europe and where they're from. And yeah, that's what I fell in love with. So I think that's why I
Yeah.
stayed there so long. But yeah.
Why did you decide to go out to London?
Um, so I lived in Adelaide for a long time. And then
Yeah.
of course, as life happens, sadly, it got to that point where there was an accident in the family, like the tragedy, and most of my family lives in Ireland. So I moved to Ireland, stayed there
Oh,
for 10 months, um,
yeah.
and then during that time I was traveling because I was in that side of the world. I've got an Irish passport. I can just go anywhere. So I was at that point in life where I'm like, let's just travel, let's see the world. Like, life's short. Like, appreciate
Mm.
every moment. And yeah, just traveled around, and then got to the point where I saw London, and then did a month with the Interrail pass, just jumping on the train around Europe. And
Yeah.
then four times in a month, I found myself in London, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, it's a sign. I've got
Yeah.
I've got to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and then applied for a job behind a bar at the hostel, and then I
Mm.
got the trial shift, and then did it, and then went to Scotland. And then while I was in Scotland, they're like, "Hey, can you start on Monday?" I'm like, "Yep, sure." Jump on the train back to London.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then I was staying at another hostel while I was working at that one. So
Wait.
I left that hostel to go and stay somewhere else because I didn't have anywhere to live. And
Yeah.
then a couple of weeks later, it turns out there's a staff dorm, there's a staff like room. And
Right.
then I just asked like, hey, can I stay here? And they were like, yeah. So okay, cool. And then I just
That's
lived in the
awesome.
hostel and worked there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, why did you move to a different hostel? Was it your time up? Was there like a limit on how long you could stay at the hostel?
Um, Effectively, yeah, but I also just didn't at that time, like I didn't want to like pay or like feel weird, like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
also a guest here. So I
Yeah.
was just jumping around hostels going, you
Right.
know, I just needed a place to stay, and didn't want to commit to the whole like, 3 month thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
gotcha.
was that was it. And now I'm in New Zealand, um,
This is home
Christchurch.
base now?
Yeah, this is my parents' place, which
Oh, I thought
is
your parents are from New Zealand. Sorry, Ireland.
they are, but they moved here, and this is where I'm from.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're from Ireland. I was born here,
Here as in Australia or New
Christchurch.
Zealand?
This is Christchurch, yeah, New
Oh,
Zealand.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, yes. Okay.
So
Makes sense now.
you're in Melbourne?
That's right.
Yeah, right, right. You've lived
Mm.
there your whole life? Do you travel
Yeah.
much?
These next few years, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
think
what?
this year I went to this. Sorry, no, this year I went to Vietnam. Then I also went. Um, I've been to Vietnam in the past, and then my plan for this year is um, Bali and also Japan.
Oh, Bali's good.
Yeah,
Classic. Classic
yeah.
Australian getaway.
Oh, it's actually not for a getaway. It's actually because I have a few mates over there who are entrepreneurs as well. So I was
Oh
like, I'm
shit,
going there for
nice.
work. Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, that's
yeah,
good. That's a nice
network.
place to be working then, right? Like,
Yeah. Mm.
are you making something with them, or like
No,
what's the
not
go?
yet. I haven't met these guys before. It was just an invite from one of my mates.
Yeah,
So yeah, he's like, you should come.
networking.
It's gonna be a nice villa. I'm like, all right, fuck it. I want to network, see what opportunities I can get out of it, and what kind of value. I just want to give value and see how it goes.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's the way. Yeah, that's the way, right? Give value, and then usually it comes back. Like,
That's
what is
right.
it? I don't know if you listen to Gary V. He says give, and then ask. And by the time,
Yeah,
or people just see the value in you, and the product sells itself, right? Like,
yeah,
it's good. It's the way to go.
mm,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, we just by the way, we launched straight into this, which I fucking love. Like this whole conversation, because
yeah,
that's all this is, right? Like as soon
yeah.
as you jump in the call and we just start talking about anything really, and just see where it goes.
Mm,
Um, which is really nice because I think just to have a free flowing conversation with someone awesome in the same industry and from the same side of the planet, to be honest. Like I've
yeah,
been chatting to people from all over Europe and America and everything. It's just nice to hear a familiar accent.
yeah, yeah. Well, Australian is familiar to you.
Yeah, because I lived there. I lived in Adelaide 7 years.
Oh, seven. Oh, okay. Oh my God, you've been everywhere, dude. I'm still confused.
I've got to put a map together. Like,
Yeah,
where was Josh and at what time?
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Traveling is one of the best things. I was talking to Dizzy about this. You get the experiences of people all over the world, and through them and through their usually when people are like traveling, they're open. They're really like filters gone. Like there's no risk. Like they're not embarrassed. They're just like, oh hey, you're cool. Let's talk about stuff. And then
Yeah,
it's funny working at the bar at the hostel. You would see this happen as well. At the start of the night, everyone would be sitting individually, just like individual drinks. And by the end of the night, there'd be like three groups of like 6 or 7, up to like 10 people. Um, and those
wow. Yeah,
friends would stay together for the whole week. And you'd see one
yeah,
person was the first to leave, and then
yeah,
everyone was like, oh, this is tragic. This is so sad. Like
yeah,
we're so sad that you're
yeah,
leaving. You're like our lifelong friend, and they're all giving
yeah,
hugs and everything. And so for like usually 4 to 5 days, these people become lifelong friends. It's
yeah.
so nice. And the only reason that that happens is because they're open and they're just telling stories and talk about experiences. And
Mm.
yeah, I think you just get that anywhere that you travel. The more you travel, the more you see, the more I don't know, the more open to new things you become. So
Yeah, yeah. I've heard that. I heard that like like you kind of everybody knows you as this certain person who like your kind of personality and what you do, and then I guess once you start traveling, you can kind of step into like a different, entirely different person, and nobody would know. And yeah,
yeah,
like for example, like your parents, your friends kind of know you as this guy, and they treat you a certain way. But when you go overseas, it's all like somewhere different. It's just like I think it's this respect, yeah, it's just so different, and that's kind of what I want to kind of experience, because I felt that when I also went traveling as well. Similar story to
yeah,
you, how I went to a hostel in America, and I actually met one of my friends who's also my best friend now, who's just also Irish.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, love
and
it.
now he lives in Melbourne, Australia, and
Oh,
yeah, because yeah, we just bonded like crazy. It's just like how I think initially it was just our motive to just want to work on ourselves, and eventually by the end of the trip, the 2 weeks, we're like, dude, we need to connect. Like, how are we going to connect to each other? And then yeah, it was like, okay, let's make a deal. Like I'll travel to your country and you can travel to mine, but my friend managed to yeah, come to Australia first, and then I think when he arrived at the airport, he's like, yeah, by the way, dude, I'm living here for the rest of my life. Like, I want to live here for a long term. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was just for a holiday because I want to go visit Ireland too. So yeah, it just ended
Yeah,
up really well. And yeah, I've seen it like last week as well, and yeah, we just did everything together, which is pretty sick.
that's awesome. Love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's that's so funny. There's a lot of Irish that are moving to Australia. Like when you're
yeah.
over there, everyone talks about Australia as just like pristine beaches, beautiful people, beautiful food, and all this. It's like it's the utopia. Um,
Mm,
which is really interesting to know that like at the same time, there's a lot of Australians and Kiwis going to like London and Europe of all
yeah,
places. They're just like it's everyone wants to shift on the globe, you know? Like
yeah.
the other side of the planet is the place to be. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it's a fascinating dynamic. But so you're yet to go to Ireland?
No, yeah. Well, whenever he's planning to go back, I'll go back with him for sure. I definitely want to, yeah, experience Ireland. But he's like, it's all farmland. It's nothing crazy because I don't think he lives in the city.
Oh yeah.
But he's like, there's nothing there, dude. So I don't know. You're like cold weather, dude. You're probably like Ireland. I'm like,
That's the way. That's the
yeah,
way. But it's funny though, because summer is actually quite hot there because it's quite humid and obviously there's a lot
mm,
of rain. When it does get hot, it
yeah.
gets warm, and they don't have air conditioning, so it's like
What?
yeah, because like it's cold like almost the whole year round, so there's no
Right.
reason to cool down, you know, because they're
Yeah.
already fucking cold. And by the time summer comes around, you just wait a week and then it's cold again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's good though. It's a nice place to visit. I recommend. Recommend.
Mm, mm, for sure.
Yeah. Ah, it's good. So, all right, so this is a question that I had for because I spoke to Josh yesterday. Josh, oh my God,
Jacob as well?
that's of
Was it Jacob?
Jacobson. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Josh Jacobson. He he asked me, tell me about how you got into filmmaking. But now I want to ask you that. I'm
Mm.
so curious of what got your start into wanting to be
Oh
a
man,
filmmaker.
I really have to like dig. Uh,
Yeah, go for it.
I, ooh, because right now in my brain, I'm just like, okay, there was a point in my life where I wanted to be creative, and there was also a point in my life where I started videography. I don't know where to start, but I guess I'll just start off with photography. I think I started off doing photography first, and that actually came from just fresh out of high school when I was, yeah, fresh out of high school. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life at that point. I remember all my friends like they knew what uni course to do, and at the point I was like, I'm gonna do whatever. And I also I think I also didn't want to do uni as well. So I was just I was just directionless, and I was very depressed at that period. Um, so I guess during that period, I would just stay at home a lot. I didn't want to talk to anyone, and I kind of went down that route of just partying and going out and not wanting to do any sort of yeah, studying at all. And yeah, like my parents, Asian parents, they weren't really happy with that. So so yeah, I think at that point I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna choose a random course that I was interested in at that time because I went clubbing so often, and I went to a lot of house parties. So I'll just do music. And I think when I did a course in music, my parents were so pissed. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, how are you gonna be making money from music? And especially in Australia as well, which is like, we're not known for our music. Um, so yeah, I think that really pissed off my parents, and at that time as well, they knew that I was just like I wasn't in the right mindset. So they introduced me to like my family friends who were like kind of had kind of knew what they like, kind of knew where they were going as well, and they were doing pretty well in their career. So they invited me to a Vietnam trip. Like they paid for everything, which is freaking crazy. And I remember just not wanting to talk to any of them. I'm like, I don't want to be to this trip. No, fuck this. You know, I want to stay home. I want to play games. I want to hang out with my friends. I just wasn't comfortable leaving my show. And I guess, long story short, on that trip, one of my friends offered to give her camera to me, just to shoot photos and stuff. She's like, "Hey Ken, have you ever like used a camera before?" I'm like, "Yeah, on my phone." Like, but shit, like I'm not interested in that. And then she's like, "No, you should try." And then she's like, "All right, I want to challenge you to just use this camera and just take photos. And that's all you gotta do. You don't have to talk to anyone. Just take photos." And I think, yeah, during that trip, I just took photos, and I was like, "Wow, this is actually pretty fun." And while shooting those photos, I also got to experience the side of Vietnam that like a lot of people don't get to see, because when a lot of tourists come to Vietnam, they only see the city, and they will see like the touristy areas, the bars, the entertainment districts, but they don't get to see the side of Vietnam where there's like poverty. And yeah, and it was when I went out to go take photos, when he invited me to this like I guess this rural area. It was like all dust, stone roads, like nothing was developed, and it was like a school. And I just remember seeing these kids who were like outside the school selling lottery tickets, because from what I heard was these kids actually didn't have money to go to school, so they had to work at an early age. And I remember snapping those photos, and I'm just like, holy shit! Like people don't know about this. This is crazy. Um, and yeah, and I was like, I was just so in shock, because like I'm very fortunate to, you know, have the gut like I have my parents pay for my education, but I'm not taking it seriously. I'm doing stupid courses, and I'm just like, kind of sleepwalking through life. And so yeah, I just like, holy shit, like this is awesome. And then when I like finished taking photos for that school, um, I also went to like this temple, and this temple was filled with like people who were like like handicapped, disabled. Some people were missing a leg. Some people couldn't had to be in the wheelchair. They were blind. Yeah, it was just really sad thing to see. And they would just come to collect rice for the day, and that's all they would eat: rice and rice and water, dude. So it was so sad. And then I think it just clicked to me. I was like, dude, I need to share this story. And then I also need to take my life more seriously. So coming out of that trip, I was like, I need to, I want to take more photos. I want to kind of pursue this career in photography, and just like storytelling. But I didn't know that at the time, right? I just knew that I just wanted to show something. And yeah, coming out of that, I took photos, and I remember posting my stuff on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, this is freaking awesome. I think I just spent hours and hours on YouTube courses on how to edit. And I think when I posted my first photo, somebody messaged I commented on my photo. It's like, dude, why are you uploading Google Images? I'm like, no, dude, I actually edited them. Like, this is
Yeah,
me. Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, like that's crazy. And I think I remember I just like uploaded these like I still have it in my archive. I had like these 6 like photos that were fully pristine. I spent hours on these each photo. And yeah, I think nobody took my account seriously, because there was no proof that I actually took those photos.
yeah,
So I'm just
and
like, okay.
that's so awesome though, as a story, right? Like
Yeah,
you had this moment where people knew who you were, right?
yeah,
And then you got into this new industry. You even said it before, right? Like who you
yeah,
are when you're traveling is almost a
mm,
completely different person. And
yeah,
then you come back with these pristine photos, like new skill developed, like absolutely banger photos. And people are like,
yeah,
who is this?
yeah,
That's not good. We don't know this guy. Like, oh,
yeah,
full
exactly,
circle
exactly.
moment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally,
Love it.
totally agree with that. Yeah, yeah. So it was just an entirely different person. Yeah, like you said, entirely different person than I was, before leaving Vietnam. And yeah, I was like, I think I'm good at this because people don't believe me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep pursuing this because I think I have a knack for this. So eventually, I did went down that route of doing birthday parties and then also doing weddings. Weddings was probably one of the worst things I ever done. It was a good
Really?
experience. Yeah. Oh, this is crazy. I think this is my first taste of me and my friend. We actually did a wedding together, and this is probably one of the first two gigs that I ever done. And I remember sitting down, and this is the first time we actually got paid for our work. And I remember one of my friends, I think I was just kept like telling people, oh yeah, I want to start this photography career. I want to start this photography career, go down this creative route. Does anyone have any work that we can, we'll shoot for you for free? But one of my friends like, I actually have a cool referral for you. Like one of my friends, they're actually getting married and they actually need a photographer. I'm like, oh fuck yeah. It's like, so they're like, okay, let's have a sit down with them and see what they want. And I remember sitting down with them and then they're like, okay, so what do you like? Do you guys have any work to show for? And I'm like, nah, we got nothing. We got like birthday parties and we got like photos, like street photography. And I showed like my Vietnam photos. And they're like, yeah,
Mm.
this is really good. Yeah, yeah. Okay, how much do you guys charge? And I remember looking at my mate. I'm like, fuck. Oh, like, and I was like, oh, how much would we usually get charged? Like, how much do we usually make? And at the time, I was still young, right? And I didn't make that much money. I probably made like $150 a day, just working part time. And I'm like, oh, if we went there and we took photos for a whole day, and we also, spend time editing, $200 sounds pretty good, like that's good because that's how much we get paid. So yeah, so that's how much I get paid in my part-time work. So I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna charge that much, $200 for a wedding, and like, sweet, sounds good. And then I remember like they kind of went to the back and they chatted for a little bit. It was only for $200 as well. So yeah, this couple went to the back and they were chatting. I'm like, oh bro, like was that too much, bro? Was that too expensive? And dude, this was $200 for the both of us, me and my mate. So
Oh
there was
shit.
even,
Okay.
yeah. Um, and then I remember they came out. They're like, "Oh, can you nudge on the price?" I'm like, "Oh no, we can't." Like, yeah, yeah. I'm like $200, and at the time, I'm like, "Oh no, we can't." Like because the $200 is actually gonna be for like me and him, so it's actually $100 each. And they're like, "Oh, okay, okay." And like, all right, let's do it. We'll hire you guys as photographers and videographers for the evening. So my friend actually took videos, and I was the one taking photos. And then I remember on the day we took videos. Oh, sorry, we came up. We got our itinerary, so it was like 8 hours. So we did the pre-ceremony, and then we also went to the church to do the proper ceremony, and then like the party right after, right? Um, and I remember taking these photos. It was like I'm like, yeah, these photos are freaking sick. Like I have this 50mm 1.8 for this Nikon, which is like the really old DSLR cameras. I was
Hmm.
taking out. I'm so cool. And my other mates like, with his little gimbal going around, and we're just like chatting with people. I'm like, bro, this gig is like the best thing ever. Like, why doesn't more people do this? Because we also got fed.
You're right.
And yeah, and by the end of the night, they're like, wow, you guys were actually amazing. Like, we really look forward to seeing these photos and videos. And we're like, yeah, like, fuck yeah, like, just give us a week. And I remember me and my mate, like, I think fast forward like 3 nights later, me and my mate sat together and we were like editing, and we're like, oh, how do you like the photos? And he's like, yeah, it's good, it's good. And I'm like, and he's like, how do you like my videos? I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. And it was like 4 hours long. The video was 4 hours long because he tried to capture the whole
Yeah.
ceremony,
Everything.
from start to finish, but like only the main points, the main parts of the wedding. And then I think on the day of delivery, I remember delivering on a USB, and I'm like, hey, this is it. Don't worry about the USB. You can just keep it, like, just on us. And I'm like, fuck, like we're over delivering here. They get to keep a USB stick as well.
Hmm.
And they, yeah, so we had amazing customer service. in our minds, we had amazing customer service. We delivered on time, and yeah, and like it was just the best price ever. And the day after, they messaged us and they're like, "What the hell is this?" They're like, "These photos are terrible, and the video is just way too long." I'm like, "What?" Like, I'm pretty sure that the photos that I took were really good. They're like, "Yeah, but you missed this moment of when like my parents were crying, or you missed this moment, like you didn't get one of my friends. Like we needed more of this, and we needed more of that." And that was our first taste of yeah, like low paying clients.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and we're like, holy, like we're actually really stunned. Like they were really pissed because one of my friends like, oh, I don't know if I should just like refer you more work because like my friends aren't happy because I referred you. You know, I gave in a good word for you, and you guys like didn't really deliver. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I gave them like 250 photos or something. And yeah, they weren't happy with it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing weddings anymore. We spend like 8 hours, probably 16 hours, and we get paid like $200, $100 each. I don't think it's worth it. And yeah, I guess, I guess, yeah, that was the first time that I realized that, yeah, um, that we shouldn't be charging that much, especially for like an entire day like that. Um, and I guess fast forward from there, so that was my first taste of, doing any sort of creative work, paid work. So moving forward, fast forward to when I actually transitioned into videography was when, I guess, during COVID, when Instagram was kind of like releasing, really released a new feature, which was like the reels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, during that time, we, during that time, I think it was before COVID, right? Yeah.
That's a good question. I think it was, but
I think it
no,
was just, yeah,
COVID
yeah.
just erased many years. So that's
Yeah,
just a
it
blackout
did.
space where I have no
It
idea.
did. It did. Um, yeah, okay, I think it did. But so yeah, it was probably before then. Yeah, okay, so before they released the feature of Reels, and I had to play around with it. And at that time, I was still focused on doing photography, but a lot of people were, posting Reels. I think there was a lot of like, dancing Reels and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, I want to get into this as well. See if I could, attempt to go viral with any of my videos. And yeah, I had to play around with it. I did a few videos and it was like super fun. I was just doing unboxing videos of all my camera gear. And I remember seeing this trend of this guy, dancing. And then like, that drone video where the guy flies a drone up and he does a circle around him and he dances.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that? I
Yeah, it
forgot his
rings a
name.
bell.
Something Ducky, no.
I
Anyways,
think,
he did something like that, and he went viral, and he was a videographer as well. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should attempt that, and see how I go. And I remember getting my mate to like, shoot a drone video of me doing that shaking, that dance as well. And I remember the first day, I had like 10,000 views. I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm getting so many views. Like this platform's cracked. Like this is the best. And I'm getting all my friends sharing. They're like, dude, like check out this guy Ken. He's posted this funny ass dance video. And then next thing I know, I'm like sharing with my friends like, bro, I'm getting like 10,000 views. Like that's crazy. And my friends like, bro, I can't believe we're doing it. Like we should hop on it too. And I think fast forward the day after, and I remember like around 8 p.m. I've hit around like 500,000 views. And I'm like, holy crap, this is unreal. I was like sharing with all the stories. And then an hour later, we'll go to 600, 700. And then later, I think it capped at 1.5 million views. And I was like, holy shit, like this is where I need to like focus on like video content. Because I know photos was just so hard to, kind of get views. I think a lot of people were posting reels, but I wasn't get that much success. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go balls deep into videos and just learn everything. So I asked my mate, dude, you got to teach me everything about videography because I don't want to fall behind. And I think that was my first time that, yeah, I was more serious with videography. I don't know if that answered your question. I kind of went off on a tangent.
No, no, it does. Okay. Never like keep going with the story. Never like
Yeah.
hold back. Holding back with that sort of a thing,
Okay.
disrespectful. No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. That was beautiful. I love that. And yeah, it did sort of answer that question of like how'd you get into filmmaking? Because you hit all the points, right? Like where you
Yeah.
were, right? Like where I think that the key standout point about I hope you don't mind me bringing it up, but you mentioned that you didn't know what you wanted to do in life, and you mentioned the word depressed, and I think that's a key word to use there
Mm.
because I think a lot of people do feel that way, and what triggers in my mind is the opposite of depression is not happiness. Everybody thinks it's happiness, right? But it's not. It's expression. And
Mm.
so when you feel depressed and you feel like small and you feel like belittled, is if you can
Yeah.
express yourself in your story, that's
Mm.
through photography and traveling and seeing people from a new light and seeing that they're eating rice and water,
Yeah.
and that's it. And you see them,
Yeah.
you know, they're missing limbs, and you just sort of have this new appreciation for life. And then
Mm.
you get into the expression of telling that story and sharing the
Mm.
photos. And then Instagram just sort of like steered you in the right direction. Like that's the sort
Yeah.
of serendipity that I just absolutely love about, you know,
Yeah.
what life puts you on a path, right? You just need to go
Mm.
for it. And you know, there's a few years, and like I'm in a similar position. I don't know how long it lasted for you, but that sort of downward sort of, you have to have the low moments so that you can see what doors are open, and then when you see
Mm.
the one that just makes the most sense, or you just have this sense of like it's that door. They might have 10 doors open, but there's one that just feels like the right choice, and then you go
Yeah.
through that one, and then you end up here. And you know, it's, I've seen your content, Ken. It's brilliant, man.
Thank you, brother.
Like, yeah, it's not just there's talent, right? And you're a talented guy, but there's hard work involved as well. And it seems like you've
Mm.
just got those two things, and that's what just fucking propels you forward. So
Yeah.
it's good
Yeah.
shit, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Yeah, you tied it all together really well. Yeah, I think each and every point in my life, yeah, helped me kind of steer me into that direction, of just, to where I am today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, it's good, man. It's good, and that sort of a thing is, I think, a lot of people need to hear that, which is why, which is why we do what we do, right? We tell stories. Like, oh, there it is. Like this is
What does
why
that
we do
say?
that. But oh, have you not seen that?
Tell stories. No, I don't think I have.
You've not seen oh,
That's
I
awesome,
need.
dude. And you got a sunflower too?
Oh yeah, I got the sunflower,
What's the story
and
behind
then
that?
oh, okay. Well, let me tell you a story about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Similar, like I'm in a similar position to you in that there was a few years there where I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like I got into
Mm.
esports, and then sitting behind a laptop, like I was so disconnected. And as much as I love esports and like, you know, video games and all that, like I'm a competitive person, and when it comes
Yeah.
to like I just want to win, you know.
What game, if you
Um,
don't mind me asking?
oh, there was five main ones. There was Smite was the main one, and then there
Smite?
was,
Oh yeah.
yeah, League of Legends, Counter Strike, Overwatch, and Rocket League were the other ones that I got
Oh,
involved with.
which one were you good at? Like, which was like the most
I
proudest?
think I was.
Spend
I
the
think
most
I was.
hours actually.
Oh, most hours League.
League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the
What
no.
rank did you get to, bro?
I think a highest was, I think, plat one, but I also
Wow.
just I like
Jeez.
just watching it as well, and
Yeah.
then like just casual games with friends. You know, we would sort of take it seriously, but you know,
Mm.
once you get into ranked, it's anyway. So tangent.
I know
Um,
what you mean, dude. I know what you mean.
it's 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 hours lost that we could have been
You,
refining our craft.
did you have a dream? I think it was every guy, but did you have a dream actually like actually becoming one of like the top players so you can
Oh,
actually
absolutely,
yeah, yeah,
100%. Okay, like I kid you not, there's still a part of me that has that dream because
yeah,
I went, I was in London last year in November.
yeah.
I went to the O2 and I watched the World Championships, and I watched Faker win in Game 5 live. It
That's
was
crazy, dude.
insane. It was
Oh,
so
Faker.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
man, it's nuts. Okay, I just have so many stories to tell about that, by the way. Yeah, so but like a part of me still thinks like I could do it.
Yeah,
I shouldn't, because the amount of time that you put into it is just not worth it, especially in Australia. That's really what made the difference. Because
yeah.
I was in it for like 5 years during my degree. Like I
Mm.
failed a few classes in my degree just to
Yeah,
spend more time doing that, hosting events, broadcasting, commentating, doing, I
yeah.
got flown to Australia. So like 7 times in 1 year was the most. Um,
Wow.
so that was really cool. And yeah, failed some courses and then just retook them and passed them. So side note, you can always have uni, go to the thing, go to that event so that you have that memory. If anybody's watching this and they think, oh, I don't know how school, but this one time of it, go to the event because school's always there. Like
Yeah.
I'm
It's
close to
expensive
30,
memory.
and like
Yeah.
if I just want to fucking, if I could go back to school like now, like don't stress it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's I don't know. It's one of those things where I, it, yeah, I would rather go to those events when I was 19, 20, 21. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was it. Like that was what I thought was amazing, but I was so disconnected because I was behind the laptop, and then I got into software, so that didn't solve the problem because I was still behind the laptop, but I just felt sort of shut in, and I didn't really know how to creatively express myself other than video games because I was hosting
Yeah.
events and I was doing the graphic design, I was doing everything behind the scenes, and that's where I
Mhm.
felt like I was the most valued. That's where I was the
Yeah.
most expressive because I could talk about the game. I got validated as like, oh yeah, he knows, right? Because I wasn't getting that in real life. I just sort of was
Yeah.
chasing this dream of like, I want people to know that I know things.
Yeah.
Um, and through that process, and then going through um, getting to the point where like I moved to Australia, and then real life hit. I've got to pay bills. I've got to get rent. Got to do all that. So I also had to
Mm.
supplement with a job. Like esports in
Yeah.
Australia, there's no money. Like
Yeah.
there's no money in it. Um,
Yeah.
then I got the job, and I thought, okay, cool. Now I've got money coming in, and then drama happened, and then I was basically out of esports overnight, which was the both the saddest at the time, but the most freeing feeling in the world because I only knew one person. Like all my contacts in Australia were just like evaporated, and I just knew the one guy. And I don't know about you, but I just felt so free, and it was so
Mm.
pleasant to just go, great. I have no pressure anymore of this toxic environment. I could do whatever I want. I have the
Yeah.
money. I have an adult job. I have a car. Got my own place. I could do whatever I want now, which was the best feeling. And then I just, chased software and I loved it. And I liked the creative process. I like sitting in a room and, drawing up and effectively getting to that point where from a technical view, I can code, I can do all that, but I can sit in a room and I can talk about business and I can whiteboard ideas and I can sort of break down that whole process. Um, of a business, right? Which is making money. It's almost like it's the game, right? Like League of Legends, right? You got to farm, you got to make money so that you can buy something, so
Mm.
that you can be stronger than the other, so that you can do something, right? Like
Yeah.
business, I see as similar, where you've got to build
Mm.
something, you've got to go and you've got to find money, and money is the
Yeah.
fuel, so that you can then go and do something else with it. And then
Mm.
at
Very.
that point,
Mm.
it then became this sort of game in my mind of like, great, now I want to rank up, I want to go through the corporate, did the corporate thing. Fuck me, it was the worst decision. I hated it. Um, it was not fun. It was not fun. And then, yeah, tragedy struck in 2023. And then decided, fuck this, I'm going to move to Ireland. And then did, and then pulled out my phone, started just making Instagram reels, really. And then someone
Mm.
said, hey, you do photography, right? And I'm like, yep, sure.
One of those ones.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they went,
Yeah.
can you do my school formal? This was a cousin of mine. She's like
Yeah.
17. And I was like, weird, but okay, sure, why not? Let's do it. Stop.
All right. It's recording now.
Oh, cool, cool. How do I split the views so that what is this? Not that one. I like how I was just talking about. I know tech. I know things.
I think you click on the three dots, and then oh, and it's like
Hang on.
split view. Change the layout.
Change layout.
No,
Look
that's
at
not it.
us figuring things out. Change layout. Tiled. Auto. Dynamic.
Oh no, so click on this. So if you hover over, wait, what's it? Okay, I just lost it.
Flip. That's okay. This can be the audio section. Okay. Pin to screen. Almost, but I want to pin you. Oh, okay. You just got to pin two people at the same time. Fascinating.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cool. We're back. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Zoom Pro license after that one.
If you pay for if you pay for do you pay for do you have like your own separate email from G Suite?
Yeah. I've
Yeah,
got.
yeah. You get a free subscription of Google Meets Pro or something, and then it has unlimited hours, and you also can record.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'll use
it
that.
comes with the
Cool.
subscription, which is pretty cool.
Cool. All right. Plan
Yeah.
moving forward right there.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Cool. Okay. Do you want me to finish the story?
Yeah, please do.
I feel like I need to. Because
Yeah, you're getting just to the good part.
yeah. So I was making Instagram reels. I was literally just posting them up. I was in Ireland, like I was met all my cousins, aunts, uncles, that sort of thing. Just sort of like went, cool, I'm here. This is it. And then went to a birthday party, pulled out my phone, and I started just doing the weird stuff. And when I say the weird stuff, I mean the B-roll footage of like putting my phone up to like a birthday party balloon.
Yeah.
And people were like, and
Yeah.
you're gonna remember this is like countryside Ireland, where like, you know, if you said the word software to them, they'd be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Mm.
A bit of an exaggeration, but that kind of a thing. And so whenever I was, you know, walking around with my phone out doing weird stuff, people were like, what's he up to? And then I posted it, and by the next day, all of my cousins had shared it. It got like 6,000 views in the first day. And this is
Wow.
just them, right? Like this is like
yeah.
small town. People saw it, and I was like, this is amazing. And the feedback was great. They all loved it. They said, "Oh, this is so good." Like, I'm so glad that you were there. And I got all these lovely comments, and it was just, yeah, it was good. It was like a 15-second video. And I used Instagram templates. Like to me, it was just like, oh, I like the shot, and I like the shot, and I pieced it together. But they loved it, and then I just sort of kept going with it. And then as I was traveling, I just kept pulling out my phone and just making shots and trying to do some things, and then grew over that process of a year. Got a camera, just a Canon, and then my uncle's cousin, so not technically a relation to me, is really into photography and drones and that sort of thing. She was like, "I've got this camera, you can just have it." It's like, oh my god, amazing! It was a Nikon Nikon D5 300. It's a bit old, but
Yeah.
does the job. Brilliant, cool. I'll take that. Thank you very much. And then just traveled Europe with a camera and got a DJI Mini 3, and just went from there. And then I got to the point where I did eventually do that school formal, because someone asked me in January if I could do it in September. That's the thing that kept me in Ireland, because for the first like month I was like, oh well, this is great here, like I could live here. And then I realized like, oh, it's not the best. Like being away from work and being away from home and that sort of thing is tough, because I still had the remote software job during that time.
Yeah.
And it was through making Instagram reels that really helped me be expressive rather than like I said earlier, like sitting behind the laptop is really tough.
Mm.
Because I discovered I love people. I love like having those conversations, digging into a business and finding out what are the operations. How can I make your business operate better? Software is just a tool, right? Like it's almost like an electrician, right? Like if they rock up and they've only got a hammer and a spanner, right? You're just like, fuck you doing, right? But
Yeah.
if they rock up with a van kitted out with like all the best tools, all well organized, they look professional and they do all this, you go, cool, I trust you to do the job. The tools don't do the job. The plumber goes in and he like sees what's up and he goes, okay, cool. That's sorry, the electrician. And he looks at the whole system and he goes, cool, I just need this one thing, goes away, grabs the one thing, makes it a 5-minute job and leaves again. I think software is similar in that you could build the whole house and have that all wired up, but sometimes you just need to go in and you just need to, think about what is the best tool for the job. So when you have the experience in that, not just software, but also the business side, that's where things that's exciting to me. Like I would rather use one line of code to fix something than rebuild the whole system. And you would not believe the amount of times people are just like, we need a whole new system. And you just sit there and you're like, are you sure? Do you want to know the budget for that? And they go, yeah. And then you tell them and they go, it's my favorite look.
Yeah.
My favorite look is when people are like, oh, software's expensive. You go, yeah, sure
Yeah.
is. But yeah, no, that whole process of going through software through it's almost business consulting, but it's more so like how can we digitize your business? That whole thing through corporate life, that was exciting because there was creativity in that. That's where I found that was sort of what I was holding on to through software. Otherwise, I would have been gone in the first few years.
Mm.
Stayed in that for quite some time, and because I've always been around computers my whole life, but yeah, shifted into filmmaking after you get this perspective of how family were living in Ireland, and the story of it was my cousin that passed away in a car accident, sadly, and
Sorry
then
for the loss, man.
I appreciate that, thank you. But yeah, then a few days later, his dad had a heart attack, which would shock her. He survived. That was by sheer luck. Like,
Thank God. Yeah.
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 But then, then the next day, my granddad passed away, and it was like, you couldn't script that. You couldn't write that.
Holy moly! Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
This was all within 6 days.
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone in Australia at that time. Like I'm just hearing all this stuff happen through my dad. And I was just like, oh my God. So that was the thing that really made me shift perspective of like, what am I doing in Australia? That's why I moved to Ireland. And that's where I sort of like dipped into this. I didn't get to I met my grandparents, but I really didn't get to know them. And then, just sat in that sad moment for quite some time, and then needed that creative expression. And through that, through that sort of sad time, very sad time, I was thinking, like, what kind of effectively look for the light? What is the most positive thing? And so, whenever someone would give me some sort of attention, or I found someone interesting, or this shot looked interesting, I always saw this light, this effectively the sunflower. And even in past relationships, like I've been engaged and then I broke that off and then got into another relationship, and in both of those I called my partner my sunflower. And then I started to realize, if I'm seeing sunflowers everywhere, maybe it's not them, maybe the sunflower is me. And
Okay. Yeah.
through that process of sort of that being in the low point, but also trying to see, I've been told by people like I'm far too optimistic and I'm far too, the rose tinted glasses are well and truly secured on. But I try to see as much positive as I can in everything. And then through traveling Europe for a month back in November before settling in London, that's where, you know, I was making friends with people that, like, I have a list. I have a list of people. I've got to show this because it's one of my favorite things. Is I have a list of people that I just emotionally connected with on my travel through Europe, and I'm going to remember these people for the rest of my life. Um, and I think through that, it was one of those amazing processes where the sunflower just kept coming up, the concept of that, and the amount of people. Yeah, this is the list. Ooh,
Oh, geez.
this is the list. Like,
You remember all
all
the
these. I
That's
do.
huge, dude.
Yeah. This was
Holy,
in a month, by the way.
oh my God.
Yeah. So I remember everybody. Yeah. Like, I'll pick one. Uh, Molly. Molly, I met at Molly's right there. Right there. Molly,
Yeah.
I met at a zoo concert. Do you know Zoo? ZHU. He's a house DJ
Yes, I
from.
do.
Yeah.
Hated the
So
song.
we were in London. We were at a concert, and yeah, we just met and just started chatting. We still talk today.
Yeah.
Turns out she lived around the corner from where I was living in London, which was
Really?
great. Yeah, I was in Aldgate and she was in Wapping. We found that out like the next day,
Yeah.
which was pretty cool. She stole my hoodie. So
Sure. So she stayed the night, did she?
no, no. At the concert, she's like, "Hey, I'm really cold. Do you mind if I'm like
Oh,
wear your
okay.
hoodie?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, absolutely."
Mm.
Um, and then left.
Yeah.
And then since then, I'm like, "Oh, can I have my hoodie back?" She's like, "No." Like, she's still talking to me.
Yeah.
um, yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, she's so funny. She's great. I
Yeah.
love her. But yeah, no, that whole list of people was just like, whenever you can emotionally connect with people and during
Mm.
that process of discovery of, you know, Europe and this new profession that I really wanted to get into. People just kept saying like, "Oh, it's so good," and then the sunflower just kept coming up as a concept
Yeah.
to the point where I took a photo of a sunflower for a friend of mine
Yeah.
in Ireland at a it's a massage and spiritual clinic, we'll say.
Mm.
Yeah, it's and now that's part of my brand. If you go to my website, that sunflower is on there. And after I took a photo, my mum printed it out for a gift for her friend.
Mm.
That photo is now hung up on her kitchen.
Yeah.
Um, so that whole concept of the sunflower just being optimistic, being um, sort of ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
That's self appreciation is that one,
Yeah.
but also the
Well,
fact that
yeah.
we
My
love
my
sunflowers.
my partner actually sorry to cut in. My partner
No,
actually
of course,
loves sunflowers as well. So I can't wait to share this story with her because yeah, like out of all the flowers that she wants, even for like Valentine's and stuff, it's like the sunflower. So it's
yeah.
really cool to hear your story, man.
Oh, cheers, cheers. It's yeah, I love it. I love it. Which is to extend on that. Um, Christmas time, while I was working behind the bar, met a
Mhm.
French girl named Camille.
Yeah.
Uh, with French, it's Camille. Um, and yeah, we just started talking, and it was great. It's when I say we just started talking, I meant for like 4 days. The whole time she was like
Wow.
staying there. She would go and explore during the day, and then come back like early afternoon just to talk to me in the bar. That was that was lovely. Um, she then went back to Paris, and then a week later, by surprise, she just rocks up again. And she said because she had such a good time at the hostel, just and being in London, she just loved it. Um, this time, she brought a puzzle, 1,000 pieces of a sunflower field, because she knew that I love sunflowers and I had this tattoo.
That's amazing.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, what? Like
Okay.
this? Yeah, it was amazing. Of all the things to have, she's an actor, by the way. Um, she's a French theatre actress,
Mhm.
and she sent me a message about a month later that said, "Josh, you inspire me."
Wow.
To this day, that's still like the best compliment of any of my work that I've ever done. Like she just responded to one of my stories, and she said like absolutely amazing. It's I could keep going on about it. Like there's something about just that whole concept that I just, it's one of those. Um, right. It's one of those things that's just it's the sign to keep going. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Which is, yeah, that sunflower concept of not just being see a flower and it looks good, but like
there's so
be
much meaning.
optimistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen your tattoo. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like the tattoo it's for us, and it has all that meaning behind it, and then it's got that story behind it, and it's that level of depth to the tattoo. Like it's the same with this, right? It's the
Yeah.
same with that guy. Like
Yes.
when you get a tattoo, like it's deep and it's meaningful, and to
Mm,
share that, I think that's nice. it's
yeah.
it's you can see that I'm excited talking about it.
Yeah.
um
Definitely.
so yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's thank you for asking.
Good. Good. What's Well, I have a question. Like,
Oh
how
yeah.
did you what course did you watch initially to like actually get into like to learn filmmaking?
um I never did a course,
Really? Okay.
so
Yep.
no. Yeah, I've been watching movies since I can remember, really, and
Mm,
I mean like going to the cinema.
mm,
uh, like I told Josh yesterday, my dad used to take me and my brothers to the cinema all the time, and that was one of the things that like I really looked forward to. Um, and every time we got a popcorn, lemonade, and Maltesers, and we would just do this all the time. And I say all the time, like, at least once a month. And then we always had movies on at home, like VHS tapes and everything. And to this day, I will still go to the movies alone and get popcorn, Maltesers, and a lemonade.
that's awesome, dude.
Uh, yeah, it's just one of those things where
Yeah.
I love to watch, and I love to just pick things apart, and I love to understand things. And to me, like a film is a collection of the acting, the music, the writing, the photography, the cinematography, directing, like down to the catering. Like catering on the day can affect like the actor's mood, can affect the acting. Like there's 1,000 people in a movie,
Mm,
or you can have something that's just 10 people, and it's so powerful. But it's also it's every art medium combined. Like it's writing, audio, and visual. Um, and then add people to that, add budget to that. It's business, it's art, it's everything all together. And to understand just the complexity of, a 90-minute movie, now they're getting 2 hours, 2.5 hours on average. That complexity is what really drives me into wanting to understand it better. And then, of all the things, would you believe it was VFX artist React on YouTube that really got me into
yeah.
understanding what was really going on behind the scenes? Because I did acting school for 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
during high school, so I
Mm,
know I can act, right. Like I can understand a script, I can write a script, I can perform on stage, um, and then to put that into film and to really understand that, to get to know the actors and watch interviews, basically anything to do with film, like I'll just watch it. Like if it's an interview with an actor, if it's
mm,
uh, just listening to the score, like a Hans Zimmer like album for a movie, sorry, soundtrack for a movie. Um, yeah, I'll just listen to that. I'll just listen to him talk. I'll listen to him, just watch him. Um, yeah, it's 29 years of watching, and then watching behind the scenes and listening to people, and then watching examples, and then having the VFX artist React was nice because it was um, very quick tutorial effectively on guessing how they did something, And then they would bring it up with an actual fact. And that brought it more into like a modern technical perspective of understanding, not just the historical side, but things like the volume, things like cinematography, things like stunt coordinators and all that. And now I just look at that and I go, fuck, I want that. Like that's everything that, you know, my life has been sort of appreciating. Now I'd like to create that. And so yeah, that shift to go from watching to creating was one of the most fun. And it's that door, it's that door that was open that I was just like, this is it, right? Like there were 10 doors. I could have come back to New Zealand and not traveled Europe with a camera, not met these people. I could have stayed in software. I could have done anything, but it was that door that was just like, this is the one. This is it. I have to go for it. And now here we are. And I'm just back from Queenstown in Wanaka, shooting like fly-throughs of this luxury hotel by the lakeside, which was amazing. Like I got good feedback, and I got to travel where, you know, I grew up here. Like I've stayed at that hotel plenty of times. The general manager is a family friend, and growing up, like I was a kid there, and I just didn't really appreciate it. And then going back, I remember this room, and I remember this lobby, and like you just sort of, after having grown up and now I'm filming that, it just feels so much more meaningful. It's nostalgia mixed with a new profession, mixed with curiosity and a deep appreciation for the fact that I had those opportunities, and now I get to give back to this establishment that wanted me to be there. So yeah, it's a full circle. It's coming home, but it's also now with all this value and experience that I can give back.
Wow, that's crazy, dude. Queen, is that the recent video that you recently released on your Instagram?
Which one?
The
The
one
one
with,
where I crashed my drone?
yeah. Oh, was it that one?
That was around the corner. Which one was it? Oh yes, yeah, with the tree.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, the Wanaka tree is right there, which is brilliant. I've got so much content. I've got hours. Straight after this, I'm going into
Dude, I'm keen to
editing.
see it. I think everyone else is too.
Cheers, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to getting it all out there, because it's this is it. Like I'm sitting on content. I'm just like, deliver, just put it out.
Yeah.
Because maybe you've noticed in my content, like I'll just put anything out. Like if I think, oh, this is cool, put it out there. Like I'm not precious about how high quality every single piece of content needs to be. You know, like if I'm crashing my drone in a tree and I have to climb said tree to shake it out, that's real quick. Like let's just share that because that's quite funny. But then if I want like the full, you know, edited thing, it's I appreciate that. And not to say like I appreciate my own work, because I do that. It's nice to see, and I'm learning from other people doing that, because you know that they can do the job. And maybe you get this as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You know that they could do the job to a very high quality standard, but when it is a bit of a meme and it's a bit of a fuck about it, that's also entertaining. What do you think?
Yes. I definitely agree. I think posting too much of the perfect stuff, it's not relatable. And I think I was just listening to I was having a chat with one of my mates as well, and about just posting content for the sake of posting, just to get into the rhythm of things. And his whole idea was just having this perfect image. And I feel like being perfect doesn't humanize you and doesn't really connect with a lot of people nowadays. I think back then it would have been cool just to see like cinematic stuff and you know, have people perfecting a shot after like 10 tries. Like that was cool. But nowadays people just want to see how you do things. And and I think there's so much rawness and authenticity of just just the fuck ups. I think that's the best thing ever. And I see it time and time again where videos, actual behind the scene videos, go viral over just the ones that actually produce, like spend hours and days on a crazy commercial, and the BTS goes viral. Like it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that. Have you seen? I've noticed that a lot with films now. Like I saw more behind the scenes footage of June 2 than the film itself. Like,
Really?
yeah, like
More than 2.5 hours.
I feel like I just kept popping up on TikTok and
Yeah,
Instagram, and
yeah,
because that was their way of pushing it, right? Like
yeah.
all the organic and all the even paid content.
Mm,
Um, the actors were more acting for the social push that and the behind the scenes and the sort of
mm,
like mess about um, than the film,
yeah.
which is really I don't know. I find that fascinating that we're at that point in life where people want to see that. Like that, it's just the way that it is, which is cool, you know. Like I'd love to see how things are made. Like I'm sure you're the same. Like
Yeah.
it's a process, and you learn something from that, and then you can really appreciate what's going on behind the art.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. What do you find like the challenge, like the most challenging thing right now in just in your
Ooh.
making career at the moment?
I think the obvious answer for me is getting people to pay for it.
Mm,
Um, that's my struggle. Like
yeah.
I'd say I'm fairly confident in my ability to pick the right sound, pick the right shot,
Mm, mm,
put the camera in the right place. Um, I can fly the drone backwards at sunset and follow a car. Like that's cool. That came from video games, right? Like
yeah.
picked up the drone and I just sort of went for it. Like technically, cool, great, confident. Turning it into the business and being a salesperson, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a salesperson. Like
Mm,
I tried to be in a hi-fi store for about 6 months. I made one sale. It was not the best. To
yeah.
be fair, the store was selling like $5,000 system, 5 to 25 grand system.
Mm,
So selling the expensive stuff takes time. It's difficult. Um, and so this is where I'm trying to now network at home, where I can leverage the tourism industry uh, connections that I've already got. Um, yeah, which just so that I can get put on and network with people who can look at it and appreciate it.
mm,
Because I'm sure, and you told the story earlier. Like if you're on the lower end of the budget, people are very particular, and
yeah.
then you're putting in hours worth of work, and they're going, uh, it's not good, but like
Mm,
they just don't appreciate the art. So I think there's lead generation, and you can have a lead, and you can try to sell, and go through all of that. Um, but to find one that is appreciates the art, and then has the money, and then is willing now, and then goes through with it, that's
mm.
the hard part.
Yeah, yeah. I actually was in that position as well, where I was all creative, but no business acumen at all.
Mhm.
And I think I was very fortunate the last couple of years of getting these jobs. But now that I've joined the program that you and me in with Clout, it's a whole different ballgame, especially charging these high ticket prices. It's just so hard to justify. So like actually putting in the time to learn sales is just like it's like it's very uncomfortable, almost like almost like trying to jump off a plane. Like I'm more scared of a sales call than jumping off a plane.
Yeah.
And this is
Oh,
something I've done recently. Like I was super excited to do something like that. But yeah, man, it's just something about like charging high prices and going, oh, like is this going to be of value to this person? Like, am I ripping this person off? Is this a scam? It's like morally, is this the right thing to do? But yeah, obviously, I think putting in the reps and I think really backing yourself and seeing the value in your work definitely helps. But yeah, I think after I sell a couple, I think I definitely will kind of, hopefully my mindset my mindset will shift away from that. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, but the question, yeah, I think just to kind of go back to the question about being like the challenges in the business. Um, this is pretty. I don't know if anyone feels. I don't know if you feel the same way. But the reason why I asked that is because my challenge at the moment is actually um, posting raw content. I just love using the professional cameras so much that like every time I do use like a phone footage, it just feels so uncomfortable to me because I'm like, it's not high quality. That's not the kind of quality that that represents me and my work. So yeah, dude, I don't know if you feel the same way.
100%.
Yeah,
Literally, if I've got something with my phone, I'll
yeah,
immediately go into the edit and then auto, and then use the scroller to see if I can change the colors with auto.
yeah,
And if it's not good enough, I'll just
yeah,
not post it because I know that I have to go into each setting and go, oh, saturation up, and the
yeah,
and the
yeah,
and the contrast a little bit, the brightness, and then I just thought, fuck, that's so much time. How
yeah,
am I going to do this and continue with my day? Like, but I know exactly what you mean.
yeah. And it's also like especially when I'm going out and I want to like capture my day or like kind of capture like a special event with like my loved ones. I can't be bothered bringing an entire camera with me, you know. And I don't know how these guys like on social media are just like taking these crazy ass cinematic iPhone footages. So yeah, it's a bit it's a bit of a tough one for me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not easy. Like I literally today I was driving back from Queenstown,
Yeah,
and the amount of times that I really wanted to stop and fly the drone, and like I've got it right here. Like it's pretty easy. You unzip. This is the process. We're gonna go through this. You do this. You take it out. You take this off. Unfold the
so
propellers.
many
It's very
steps.
short.
Yeah,
It's this. Then you power it on,
yeah,
and then you get this. Turn this on, and then you got to take out these little switches. You got
yeah,
to then you got to screw them on. And by this time, I'm already like, "Fuck, I need to go." Like, this is like I can't now.
yeah. And
And
then
then you got to take it off, and then yeah,
yeah,
and then you got to, and then and then you got to take out the micro SD card
yeah.
from the drone itself.
Oh,
Then you
dude.
got to put it into your adapter, your SD card adapter, so
Yeah,
that then it can slot into your laptop and
yeah,
then go through Dimensity. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
whole workflow, man.
I think it's worse when you actually get the drone up in the air and the SD card's not even in it.
Oh,
You get that as well, dude.
that happened the other day.
Yeah,
I'll go out for a little fly, like a
yeah,
a little mental health day. It'll be
yeah,
great. End up at the beach, beautiful day,
yeah,
like 4:30, and it's winter time here, autumn. So the sun was in a pristine place,
yeah.
off the waves,
Mm,
perfect lighting. Get the park up. This was like 10 minutes of looking for a park,
mm.
and then walk out onto the beach, get the drone out, put it in the sky. No SD card.
Oh, dude.
Oh, it was so sad. It was so sad. But
That's devastating, dude.
yeah. So yeah, it is a challenge. It's a challenge to get, and like you say, to get um from seeing the shot to
Mm,
posting the shot. There's a whole workflow there. It's not just like a jump. Um,
mm.
and a good one too, like you could take out your phone and you could just hit record. Um, it's just not the same.
Yeah, I agree. I think the best way I can describe it is like it's like almost like painting on a canvas. A lot of people just love, getting the paint out, mixing the colors, and then setting up the canvas so it's all nice and pretty. Also, in the right position, especially if you're trying to paint something. It's a whole process, but in comparison to someone taking out that iPad and using an Apple Pencil, it's it's just so different.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I hear artists talk about it too, where they're just like it's not the same. They're not as creative on the iPad in comparison to actually like doing the whole setup.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's a mindset, and it's a physical thing, right? Like the muscle memory of actually painting is
yeah,
so different to sliding a stick around on a screen, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like to have the resistance of the paint, to
Mm,
the thickness, you can feel that. And then you know, some paints have a different texture to others, and you know,
mm,
brushes are different to others. It's the same in videography and photography, right? Like it's different lenses and it's different cameras, and then different settings, exposures, all that sort of thing. To
yeah.
just pull out an iPhone and go, yeah, auto adjust, go.
Yeah. It's yeah. It's not. It's just not the same.
No, no,
Yeah.
we're definitely artists.
Yeah.
Uh,
What What would you say? What would you say is like how are you currently, I guess, getting leads for your business at the moment as a filmmaker?
um,
I'm curious about this because
I'm
I'm also having a little bit of trouble in it, but I'd also like to know your insights.
um, so there was a period there through leaving London
Mm,
and then establishing myself here where I really needed that sort of time to settle down and like reestablish myself as being here. Um, so for the last couple of weeks, effectively nothing. Now I'm at that point where I'm reaching out to every single contact that I can possibly have,
mm,
plus using my parents as well, because my dad's still been here. He's been in marketing, like he knows people. Um, which is really nice. It sounds like, oh no, you're just like in my head, there's a voice going, oh, you're just going the easy way, and you're you know
yeah,
using like the you know leveraging parents, like,
yeah. That's
but
resourceful. That's being resourceful. Yeah.
it feels really healthy. Like
Yeah.
like my dad and I didn't really get on when I was in teenage years, as most dads and teenagers don't. But to now have this experience in business and marketing and tech and all this,
Mm,
I can relate now. And
yeah.
so I feel like I'm really connecting with my dad, which
Yeah.
is one of the most fulfilling feelings, to
Yeah.
come back home and have this conversation. Like we had a whiteboarding session. I have an hour video just sitting there of us just having a chat, like talking, like breaking down. We had a whiteboard breakdown session, and I was just like,
That's
hell
fun.
yes.
Yeah.
Um, so the connections are through him, and then through family, and then doing this job now the uh, for the hotel. Uh, the GM who gave me just positive feedback through the whole process, and he's a family friend, and he looked after me and my older brother while my younger brother was being born in the hospital.
Yeah.
So he's known me since I was
Mm,
2 years old. Uh, he's going to a tourism expo next week, and he's going to present my footage. And he's like, Josh, you need to put together a bio. You need to update your website with all this. You need to like make sure everything's like pristine, and in a very positive way. Like it was very much that he's Australian but living here. He was just like, mate, this is so good. Like, give me all this. Like, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to chat to people, and I'll say Josh is great to work with and all this. And I'm just like, I'm sat there like, I just sent you a LinkedIn message saying like, "Hey, how you going?" and then and I said, I'm keen to like visit Wanaka. And then he sent me an email like a couple hours later saying, "What dates?" And I went, "This date." And he goes, "Cool. Here's a booking confirmation, free of charge. You're staying here." And I just, okay, first of all, I didn't have to ask for that. Perfect, brilliant, amazing. Um, and now he's putting me on in front of like the biggest tourism expo in New Zealand next week. Like this,
what an
this
opportunity, dude.
oh, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm thrilled about it, and all that just came through like one LinkedIn message, reaching out to someone who's known me for my whole life, and
Mm,
so it's reestablishing connection with family and family friends, obviously, and then it's not even targeted. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels natural to reach out to this person who I didn't know I was going to do all those things. I was just like, I'd love to come and do this, um, and then doing it for free. And I didn't even mention any money through this process. Like if he wanted to give me money, I'll let him decide. And then now getting this network connection through to the rest of, you know, tourism in New Zealand, which is my niche, by the way. Like I want to get into um, luxury travel would be the ideal, but
Mm.
the more I do it, the more I'm realizing like adventure, like the story and the experience, like trying to sell New Zealand as an experience, because the product of jet boating, skydiving, you know, this luxury hotel, uh, the product is not the room, the product is not the jet boat, the product is not the parachute. It's how are you feeling while you're doing those things, and
Yeah.
that's what I really want to do. That there was someone at the reception, actually no, management of this hotel, and I asked like, what do you find is lacking, or what do you think it needs? And she goes, what we've got now, just there's no life in it. I was like, okay, cool, that's it. That was the only piece of direction that I needed for the whole shoot, because then I was putting in life. I had that you saw on my Instagram, like there's a
Mm.
shot of the family between the tree, the tree trunks. There's ducks. There's people having lunch. There's birds. There's even the water and the grass. And the trees falling. Like the life is now in that,
Yeah.
and through that, which ties back to the question now, like being on the shoot and chatting with all these people and then listening to them and then giving that feedback, like it's a back and forth, you know. So now that person knows, like, okay, Josh can do that. That's my network. That's now for the next time. um I made friends with 3 people in reception. um and then while I was at a bar in Queenstown, I just made friends with the waitress. Now I've got that Instagram connection. And so it's the face to face that really makes a difference for me. And then putting that content online and trying, like, pushing for the organic, that's where things are coming from. And then leveraging the family connection as well. So it's not so much going through the DMs as much as I think that can help. Um, my strength is in the face to face,
Mm.
because I just get people excited about things, I've noticed. um, because yeah, I get way too excited about stuff, and so I think that then becomes contagious, and then people are like, "Yeah, come do this."
Absolutely. Yeah. Having
So
conviction in what you do definitely sells what you do. 100%. Yeah.
yeah, no, it seems that way. How about yourself? What's it? How do you find lead?
Uh, I'm very similar to you as well. I love face to face, just like in person stuff, and it's the reason why I think I want to like really focus on shooting people, because I just love um people's reactions, people's stories. Uh, but yeah, just to kind of like further elaborate on what you were talking about. Oh, what was it? Mm, 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 mm. Oh yes, you were just talking about how like you were making friends with people, the what is it? There's receptionists and stuff like that, right? That's something that I feel like has always been like my forte as well, because I like during my time of trying to build up to be like a videographer or filmmaker, I just naturally was good with customer service. And and now that we're doing this clout thing, we're doing clout, and I guess one of the avenues to kind of get leads is to, you know, DM. It just it gives me, it's so much resistance for me, you know, because for someone that's, you know, has a marketing background, having to like do cold outreach, it's just goes against everything that I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, so like my focus definitely is going to like these networking events, because I know that I have a lot of conviction in what I do, and naturally I can just bring out a lot of like of the good stuff, and also kind of really good at breaking down a lot of problems. Um and I think when I'm able to break down the problems, it just sells, because I just kind of give value just based on the issues that they have. So I think that's probably why I say I'm lucky. I just, you know, usually it's just conversations, and I think it's just doctoring. and just trying to find out like what they want. And I think that's what you do, you know, just trying to find, like, kind of find that key message that they want to bring across for their business, which is, you know, adding life to their business. And yeah, like I think people just sell themselves when they just like say that one thing. You're like, yep, I can do that. I can sell you. Yeah. I can do exactly what you want. And I think when a lot of people who just start, they don't know, and they just go, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take videos, like cool videos, and take pretty pictures of the service that you're doing. But it doesn't. I think it's you kind of blend in with the crowd because everyone's doing that. But if you're able to identify a cool story or a cool message behind what that service is, I think that's what makes that business special and that business unique. So yeah, I think I think my way of going about business is definitely doubling down on what I teach and what I'm good at, which is like doing the reels and doing the storytelling, because there's no point of me trying to there's no point of me trying to teach my clients a certain thing and then me not practicing it myself. So yeah, so just doubling down on the content stuff, doing the networking. But also at the same time, I'm very conflicted because I'm like, maybe I do need to do DMs for once because you know that's a skill that I lack. So I don't know, because usually a lot of the times when you have conflict, it's either to, you know, it's either to evolve to become something better, or it's just your instinct telling you it's dangerous. But I think a lot of the times, even when I, you know, grow to be, like when I grow out to learn a new skill or something like that, it's always gonna have this. I always have this discomfort before I kind of come out of it, you know, having relief. So yeah, maybe that might be the case for when I actually start doing DMs and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I'm similar. Um, yeah, like that. You're right in that there's resistance to a new skill or something that you're not
Mm.
comfortable doing. And I think we have to fail at it effectively. We have to look silly in front of some people where they go, "What the fuck is this DM?" And we have to just
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
accept that that person is going to look at us and be like, "What the fuck?"
Mm.
But it also plants the seed in that now we can get better at it, and then maybe in a year's time, once you grow to that point where they're ready, they remember like, oh, that we'll go back to that conversation. Oh, I've seen your post, Ken. Like this is fucking amazing. Like let's continue that conversation. But yeah, I'm definitely in that point as well. Well, in that point as well, where there's resistance to it, because there's a deep-rooted reason, and I'm still discovering what that is. But I just don't value my work as high as what it
Mm.
is.
Yeah.
Like there was an ad for Mazda that I just pieced together because like it was just fun. It was a fun project that I did in like a day. And Michael watched it and he went, "You need to be doing $18,000 brand stories." And I went, "Okay, cool. Now I understand the value of that. Like I could do it with software, and I have done it before. Like I've pushed projects from like
Mm.
60 grand to 110 grand.
Yeah.
No sweat, easy. But whenever it's my work and it's the art form and it's
Mm.
not having the full grasp of every single piece that should be in there and where I'm actually at. Like I can't visualize because like I'm so new to it that I can't visualize where I am at in the spectrum of a skill set and delivery. So that's where that questioning comes from of like if I don't know where I am, like let's say this is the spectrum of skill. Like am I like brand like because I'm new, but I've also got all these other experiences, am I like halfway? Am I like 30%? Like,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
like it's that not knowing that then applies to this. So that whenever Michael said like, yeah, $18,000 brand stories, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, now I have a gauge of where I'm at and I know that I can deliver. Now,
Mm.
especially like the last 3 days have been in Watercan, Queenstown, and I can go, okay, now I know that there's a luxury hotel that likes my work. It doesn't just like it, like he was pumped, he was excited, and now he's going to present my work as part of his presentation on his tourism expert. Like he's speaking in front of many people, and my work's being presented there next week.
Yeah.
And then they're all going to ask questions, and
Yeah.
then we use it as digital assets. We use it for website, social, all that sort of a thing. And then so now that where am I going with this? The confidence in DMing will then come to, oh, I've done this before, so now I can speak to it, rather than not having it done, so the confidence isn't there. You know what I mean? Like, it's in trying to convince someone that you can do something you've never done it before. It feels dishonest, even though I know that I could do it, right? You also have to believe it for yourself. And now, having done it, I can come at it from a very truthful, confident place, rather than, hey, let me do this thing for you, 10 grand. It's a little different. Because maybe it's because we're so good in face to face that we resist the online, because we can't put our honest self in front of someone and then just listen to them. Because I don't know about you, and maybe you feel this way too, in that I love just listening to people. And if I could just look at someone and give them the eye contact of like, yeah, keep going. Like these face-to-face triggers that they just keep talking. I'm just going to give full eye contact and just be present and listen. And then whenever they stop, then you're just like, oh yeah, this, you know, you share a small story, and then they'll keep going. That's my favorite thing in the world, is just to sit back and just watch, and just sit back, listen to someone's story about anything. It's the best. I hope that answered your question.
No, definitely, dude. I'm just thinking, like, it's come up so many times, man, and I think it's just time for me to just, you know, just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and just do what I need to do. And and you really put things into perspective for me. So it's true. It's true.
Well, I'm glad to have provided something.
Oh yeah, I got some value out of this for sure.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah,
I have to as well, by the way. It's nice to hear that. I know we've got a lot of like similar personality traits, and it's nice to know that, you know, there's someone else out there that just wants to tell stories and do it through like a medium that can be shared with other people. Because at the end of it, like, tying back to that French actor that said, Josh, you inspire me, like, that's the whole point. The whole goal is to try to inspire someone to, you know, anything, like, tell a story and then feel something. Like, as artists, we don't get to decide what the person on the other end gets to feel. They just feel something, and they can choose whatever that is. They feel whatever that is. And I definitely get that from you as well, in that you've gone through that that time of you know, the downtime where, you know, you're sort of questioning, but then you found it, and you just went through it. Because, you know, some people get given opportunities, and every day they're just like, no, I'm sad about it, you know, rather than taking the action. Because it's one thing to, first of all, see the opportunity, it's another one to walk through the door, and then it's another one to do that every single day, to the point where you're just learning, you're still going. And yeah, it's very inspiring, Kent. Like, your story needs to be out there more.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, man. There's so many stories. I noticed so many stories, and I think it's just a matter of just me, like, actually noting them down every time something comes up. Otherwise, I know, like if I don't do it, I'm just gonna forget them. And I think the beauty of telling these stories, because you can also tie it back to your job. So when you actually do have these conversations with anyone, I think it just makes it so memorable. Yeah, man. But yeah, I also thank you, brother. You also provided me a lot of value. So
Glad I could. Glad I could.
yeah,
Appreciate you, man. Like this is nice. This is like therapy, to be honest with you.
yeah, we
It's
actually got so many similar interests. I just can't believe like you. I didn't know you were into esports, and then you're Irish. I
yeah,
wouldn't guess Scottish because of the orange kind of ginger
yeah, the
beard.
ginger beard. You know
Yeah,
what's funny is I've got a green GAA top, like Gaelic football, the Irish sport. Like I've got a
yeah,
green top, and in the right lighting, I look like the Irish flag because they got green, white, and orange.
yeah. A shirt
Uh,
was made for you, mate.
yeah, green's my color.
Yeah,
I'm stereotypical Irish. It's so funny.
yeah.
Um, but no, this has been brilliant. Okay, we're 15 minutes off 2 hours, so
Mm,
there you go. Um, I hope you didn't have plans tonight, but no, this has been good. Like I say, this has been like therapy. Like, cheers for chatting with today. I feel like we're gonna talk a lot more. Like this is I've
yeah,
got to, man. Like
yeah,
you're in Melbourne. Like it's cheaper for me to fly to Melbourne than it is to fucking Auckland and
yeah.
Queensland. Like
Really? Oh,
yeah, domestic
Melbourne?
flights here is nuts.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sure.
I, yeah. I'm thinking of actually flying down. Like, you're not in Queenstown, are you?
No, it's 5.5 hours drive, but
Okay. Yep.
based on how well this gig went, there might be regular visits down to Queenstown and Wanaka on the
Yeah.
horizon. So,
Yeah.
having just done it, like I could do that on a weekly basis, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm actually thinking going down to Queenstown because I went to New Zealand and I did all of Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
all north of New Zealand, and it was actually one of the best experiences I ever had. The people there are just so nice. I think even better than Australia, to be honest with you. Um, yeah,
We're chill, bro.
pardon?
We're chill.
Yeah, very chill. Um, I think I remember I went to a trip and I canceled like we were late for one event and then the whole itinerary just fell apart. And I remember calling each and every one of these businesses saying, "Oh, like we're gonna be late. Can we reschedule like 2, 3 hours later?" And these guys had like bookings, right? So it would have been filled out. And they're like, "Yeah, we'll make it work. We'll make it work." Every single one of them. Not a single one was like
Hell yeah.
angry or anything like that. But, like I know, like in Australia, when I call, you can tell when someone's like grumpy. But I remember showing up and like one of these, I think one of these instructors, he'd wait an hour and there was no one before him. Like there was no one, it was booked out. No one else booked for that hour, but he was just waiting and he didn't cancel on us. And I was like, wow, like the people in New Zealand are just absolutely like the most kind-hearted people ever. So yeah, like I definitely want to go down to New Zealand again for sure.
It sounds like you're convincing yourself to come, Ken. Like
I actually have,
there's a booking on the
yeah,
horizon.
one of my editors is also based in New Zealand, and I was telling him that I'm gonna come down. So sorry, come over. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, you've got to, man. Like it's a good time. And like, do you ski or snowboard?
I had such a bad experience with snowboarding. I can't snowboard for the life of me, and I can skate really well. But I
Yeah,
remember I
right.
just into snowboarding, dude. I was like, yeah, I got this big ego. Come to it,
Yeah.
just smack my face on the ground, and dude, I was like, I had a nosebleed as well. So I was like, oh shit, gotta,
Classic snowboarding.
yeah, that really humbled me.
Yeah, no, snowboarding humbles a lot of people. It's great. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's one of those things that you just go either you start as a kid and you fall on your face a million times and because your kids bounce like you're fine,
yeah,
but as an adult it's really hard to like
mm,
to learn. So that's
yeah.
why I ski.
Skiing is pretty hard too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I grew up like it's an hour and a half drive up to Mount Hutt. Like
Mm.
we had school trips there. That was normal. Like so now
Ah,
to the
okay.
point where we just go. Like it'll take. It's been a few years, but muscle memory. Like day two, I'll be fine. So
Yeah.
yeah. But you've got to come there. We've got to do something. Queenstown,
Mm.
Dunedin,
Yeah.
Wanaka's great.
Yeah. I'll be down, dude. I can. Yeah, I'll probably have to create another itinerary just for the south.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Brilliant. We'll do
Awesome.
it.
Thank you again, yeah, for
Cool.
this podcast. It was such a privilege.
Happy to, man.
Dude.
Cheers for the chat. This is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, just shall we end it there?
Yeah.
I'll message you about. Actually, no, I've got some clips, so I'll throw this through the old AI clip generator, and we'll see what it will come
Opus? Using Opus?
up. Veed.
Oh, Veed. Okay.
Yeah.
Veed's got one too, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll also show you the link to this video, this recording, so you can use this too. I'll probably use something from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Brilliant. Cheers, man. Hope you have a good night.
You too, brother. What time is it over there?
It is 10 minutes to 10 p.m.
Oh, okay. It's late.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. I went to bed at 3 a.m. last night. This is not late. This is fine.
It's because of work or because of like another party?
No, this was because of work effectively. Like I finished up in Wanaka at like 5 p.m. Drove to Queenstown, went and got something to eat, went straight back to the hotel, and then from probably 8 p.m. till 3 a.m. I was sat in the lobby just on my laptop, just working away.
Yeah.
But yeah, late nights. Well, I would finish at the bar at 2 a.m. in London, so this is normal. So
Really? You be working
yeah.
at the bar at 2 a.m.
Yeah, because the hostel bar closed at 1:30, and then you do cash up and close the whole place. And it's 2 a.m. and then you really wouldn't get settled because it was a bar. You'd have to you had to come down, and so it was like 3 a.m. before sleeping. So that habit has not gone away, unfortunately. Oh dear.
So you say you're not a morning person, are you?
Not by any means.
Okay. Interesting.
Are you?
No, but I'm recently getting into it. Like I'm recently like kind of shifting to the light side. Morning.
You're right.
Yeah.
Light side.
But no, to be honest with you, that's not true because I actually close my blinds and I go dark. Just the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes you just need that like tunnel vision.
Dude, it is.
You just need a rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's just, I don't know, it's more peaceful. Like having this giant ring light in front of me right now, it's like, it's becoming too much. So it's one of those things where you just like, I just want some peace. The darkness just helps. Turns out we're just nocturnal, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Cheers, Ken. Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, Josh. Have a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. You too.
I look forward to seeing the clips, and I look forward to seeing all your content.
Thanks, man. And you as well. Like, keep it up. Like, it's brilliant, man.
For sure.
Cool. All right. Catch you later.
See ya.
See ya.